Right, Bear Fam. This is a bit of an odd one, but I want to talk to all you ladies, really. I'm sorry if there are chaps listening, but this may or may not apply to you. Since certain events of last summer, I've been involved with several young women that have had bad experiences, shall we say. And I am a mother of a daughter that is coming to an age where what I want to say is going to become pertinent to her. I'm sorry, dogs are fighting, play fighting. And due to what some of these young ladies are telling me, I've been supporting them, some of them, for months. And when I say supporting, really just being on the end of a text message to say, you know, they'll ask questions and I'll use my life experience or my police experience to answer the questions. And some of what they're telling me is weighing heavy on my mind. And maybe this is to help me, but I just felt the need to have a conversation about it. Now, sex is a pleasurable thing, and it may seem like a rite of passage to some young women, and that it's something they need to do, something they want to not get over with, but they want to prove that they're an adult, therefore I'm gonna have sex. Now, there are some men out there that are predators, sexual predators. They look for vulnerable, either by age, by mental health, by life experience, something that's happened. They look to that and then they will use it to exploit you. Now, age brings the benefit of sort of having been there, done that, and got the t-shirt, as we say. And it also means that you have had experiences, good and bad, of relationships, and therefore are more astute to when somebody is being truthful and real, to when somebody is just trying to get inside your pants. Now, in England, pants is your undergarment, and I know in America pants is trousers, so I'm talking get sexual with you. Now, I hope I've installed in Baby Bear the importance of love in a relationship, and that generally, no, not generally, in every case I've become intimate with somebody, I've been in a relationship with them. Now, that doesn't mean that's the only way to go forward, and I know the world has changed, and there is no reason why women shouldn't have casual sex as well. But when you are going down the route of casual sex, you need to be astute and you need to be wise. Now, it's a fairly obvious one, but let's talk birth control, because it's very easy to get pregnant. It doesn't have to be more than once. It doesn't even mean the man has to ejaculate, i.e. come. You can get pregnant with penetrative sex with a man very easily, and you need to take precautions. If you're going to have casual sex, either you need to be on the pill, or have the implant, or have the what's the other one, coil. There are a variety of ways that a woman can take care of herself in that respect, and I would urge you, if you're thinking about a sexual relationship, make an appointment with a doctor and go and see them. Now, Baby Bear at 13 is now allowed to go and see the doctor on her own. She hasn't done to date, but when we were there last time, he was talking about setting up her own account and that she could go and see him, and she could order repeat prescriptions if she ever needed to. So if you're anywhere above that age, there's no reason you can't make an appointment to see your GP and go and talk to them on your own. I'm not saying I agree with the fact that you exclude your mums, but if it keeps you safe and it keeps you healthy, then do it. Now, if you're embarrassed to do that, then I think the sexual health clinics that you can look up online will also be able to see you. Now, if somebody in the public eye makes contact with you, and they're a good deal older and you're quite young, your alarm bells should be ringing. I know from even our very small channel that there are a lot of people that want to get hold of us. A lot of people want to become your best friends. And it's difficult to keep up with them all, to be honest, and it's very difficult to answer everybody. Now, if a mature male is all of a sudden answering lots of young 16, 17-year-old girls, you've got to have what I call your hackles up. You know when a dog gets alert to something and their hair on the back of their neck goes up, the hackles up. I always say to Ellie, your hackles should be coming up at that. You should be thinking and asking yourself why. Now, some of these men will be very, very astute and practiced in the art of seduction, shall we say. And I'll call it seduction, whether there's love involved or not. But they are after one thing, and they are very clever at getting their own way. Compliments. There'll be lots and lots of compliments. And if you're low, or if you have low self-esteem, and you come from an environment where you've not been complimented very much, let's not underestimate how being complimented will affect you. It will, well, even me, you know, it will build your self-esteem, it will make you look in the mirror and think, oh, and it will make you confident beyond perhaps a level where you are confident. But if somebody is being nice to you, it's for a reason, generally. Ask yourself what the reason is. If a mature man is asking you at 16, 17, 18 to meet them in a city, or you've got to ask yourself why. Because if they're in the public eye or they're popular, they have these huge, you know, meet and greet things. They get to meet, you know, stacks of people. And that's a lot of organisation put into that, and management come into it, and they get paid for it, and so on and so forth. So ask yourself why somebody that does that would then want to meet one-on-one with a 16-year-old. You know, alarm bells, hackles. Start thinking, people. Tune in to, you know, you may be feeling, you know, amazing because you've had all these compliments, and you may be thinking, oh my God, I get to meet such and such. But stop and think about it, all right? When you get there, if your hackles haven't stopped you going, and you get there and you think, oh, no, it's fine, I'm a big girl now, I can look after myself. If you get there and that man asks you to go back to a hotel room with him, well, if your hackles aren't up and your alarm bells aren't ringing, damn should the bloody whole world start going, wah! Wah! Panic, run in the opposite direction, ring your mum, ring the police, ring me. No, we don't meet mature adult men in hotel rooms, do we, girls? Look me in the eyes. Do we meet mature men in hotel rooms? No. What happens in hotel rooms, people? Or the jiggy jiggy dance. Now, if you want to have sex with that man, fair play, crack on. But if you get to that hotel room and you suddenly realise you know, what his plans are, you still can leave. You don't have to stay. You don't have to drop your pants. You don't have to get into bed with him. Run. And if he prevents you from doing so, or you say no, then it becomes rape, people. If you withdraw your consent, even midway through having sex, let's say you're having sex with your boyfriend, all right? And you've been together a couple of weeks and you're having sex, and midway through you think, what the heck am I doing here? And you change your mind and you tell him no. From that point onwards, it becomes rape. At any point, at any time, if you say to a man no, it becomes a sexual assault. Wise up, girls. Get your booties to the local police station and tell them, this oik, regardless of who the heck he is, has just done this to me and I want to make a complaint about it. Keep your pants. Keep any physical evidence you possibly can to prove your case. Keep hotel room receipts. Go to the front desk and ask them to keep the CCTV of you two coming in together. Think wise. If something bad happens, start thinking about how you're going to prove it to the rest of the world. Some point, at some time, people have to trip up. We have to catch them out. Now, imagine the most horrific scenario where you had sex with a man in a hotel room and you didn't want to, and you leave and you think, right, put it behind me, I'm going to move on, I don't want to make a complaint about it, and you realise you're pregnant. I mean, seriously, how sick and serious do these situations get, and how awful, and what do these girls have to go through? I just cannot even begin to imagine. You know, when I got pregnant with Baby Bear, I was with her dad and we'd been planning to get pregnant, and even so, when I found out I was pregnant, there is still this almighty, there's something growing inside me. There's like an alien sort of, I'm pregnant. My body's going to change. I'm going to be a mum. What do I do? And I was mature. Good grief. I'm 50 now. I was in my mid-30s, people, when I had Baby Bear. So I was an old fart. And yet it still had that scary undertone to it. And believe it or not, people do get pregnant from sexual assault. And it must be so mind-bending. It must be mind-bending. And whilst I understand the right for young people to go and have an abortion with very little questions asked, it does beg the question, should somebody not be just poking around a bit more, excuse the pun, to find out how, what, where, when, why? A little bit more talking, a bit more interaction, get to the bottom of the situation. And if you have fallen foul of a situation like this, and the said pervert contacts you again months later. Now bear in mind, you've gone through all this trauma, all this psychological, for the same pervert to contact you again and then threaten you and tell you that unless you meet them again, X, Y and Z's gonna happen. And you're, bless you, so naive and so scared and so caught up in it all that you do it. The world has gone mad. please, I appeal to you. I appeal to you, young ladies, all of you out there. Not that they'll be watching. Pass it around, because I know most of you that watch me are older. If you've got young people in the family, talk to them. They're not going to want to listen to me, but have a chat with them. You know, you may think they're wise. Maybe they're not. You know, it's all very well because they're all the big I am. And Baby Bear is very, at the moment, very sort of confident, got a bit of a swagger. She's only 13. And I think a lot of people, where were we? The holiday, in Forest Holidays, and they thought she was 16. 2 or 3 people at different events that we went to thought she was 16. It's very easy just to assume that a young person has the knowledge and the awareness to deal with this sort of thing. Now, Baby Bear has watched certain things unfold over the last, you know, year or so, coming up a year, and I'm hoping that stays with her. But I think there are a lot of parents out there that are very much out of touch with their young people. I think it's very easy to let social media and the internet parent for you these days. I think you think they're going to learn all they need to know about the world. I mean, there are so many things on the internet for them to listen to and watch, but...
You were saying?
My watch thinks I'm talking to it. I'm not talking to you. Yeah. Talk. I know it's an old-fashioned thing. It's a really old-fashioned thing, and God, talk. But some of these young people are crying out for help. They're crying out for somebody to share experience with. They're crying out for somebody to listen to them. I'm here. If you want to talk to me, I'm here. If something vile's happened to you, and you've not shared it with anybody, you can make up some random name on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and get hold of me. I won't know who the heck you are, but if you want to have a conversation about something that's happened to you, then I'm here for you. You know, I'm not going to get involved as such, but if you want to share, I just it's been really weighing heavy on me, what some people have to go through, and what it just beggars belief that there are men out there. Oh, it shouldn't beg a belief to me, having dealt with paedophiles my entire life, but you know, there are clever men out there that are treading the path of sort of abusing girls that are just sort of turned adult, essentially, that are just 16, so to speak. How they know or how they manage to select them, I suppose it's fairly easy when you've got an inordinate amount of fan mail coming in. You just select the ones you like the look of and butter them up a bit, throw a load of compliments their way, ask them if they want to meet you, get there, ask them if they want to come back to the hotel room to meet the rest of the crew, get there, force them into having sex with you. It seems almost beyond me, but on the flip side, I'm all too aware that there are monsters in the world that do these things, and they hide in plain sight. They look like the rest of us. They talk like the rest of us. I think a lot of people assume that sexual predators are going to have some sort of markings that are going to somehow look different to the rest of us. And they don't. You know, and people that are famous have sexual desires the same as anybody else. And if their sexual desires are somewhat deviant, then they're cock-a-hoop, because they're in the perfect position to you know, meet young people when perhaps younger people would have been more careful if they weren't famous. It's a sad thing, isn't it? I mean, I guess times are changing, and this is why you need to educate your young people, because the reality is that famous people used to be few and far between in common culture, really. I mean, they're, you know, film stars, your rock stars, athletes, but the chances of a young person that we treasure coming into contact with them were a lot fewer and further between. I think what's happened with social media and the explosion of people like me and my ugly mug on YouTube is that it's created a lot more famous people, if you want to call it famous. I think just because people see your mug on their television, all of a sudden you become famous. And wait, stop scratching. Sorry, excuse me. Thank you. And I think it's created a plethora, an inordinate amount, a huge amount of opportunity for famous perverts to get their ends away and to meet with women. Now, if the women are, if you're of an age where you can look after yourself and, you know, then that's fine. But our young people are teenagers. They don't know. They don't understand the world. I guess a lot of it comes down to talking, people. Talk to your young ladies and young men. Equally, young men can be abused as well. Talk to them. Find out who they're talking to, who they're, you know, get into their lives. Don't be a stranger to what they're thinking and what they're doing. Know who they watch on YouTube. Find out, you know, if there's a meet and greet nearby and whether they're likely to, I don't know. If you can do nothing else, then have a conversation with them and explain about birth control, about not having sex with somebody unless you really want to, about consent, about the fact that you can say no, and that the minute you say no, a sexual assault takes place, and that needs reporting. Anyway, I've waffled for 23 minutes and, well, 24 minutes. Seems an appropriate number to stop on. No matter their age, you can start sowing the seeds with your young ladies that your bodies are yours. You are in control of what happens to it and when it happens. Give them self-respect. Make them love themselves. Make them take care of themselves. Anyway, on that note, take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll catch you on the morrow.